Have you ever found yourself in one of those moments where life just, well, it feels like it's completely collapsing around you?
Oh, yeah.
Not just, a single bad day, but a sustained period where every single pillar of your reality feels like it's crumbling.
Absolutely. It's a scary place.
Your career is sputtering, maybe your finances are in free fall, and you're left in this um, deep desolation where you genuinely start to question if you can even keep going.
It's terrifyingly isolating.
It is. And let's be honest, we've probably all been there, or perhaps, sadly, we will be at some point. But today, we're diving headfirst into a really powerful concept, a sort of philosophy for navigating exactly those moments.
Yeah.
A way to not just survive, but maybe, just maybe, genuinely transform that despair into potent creative energy.
Interesting. So what are we diving into?
We're taking a deep dive into what's become known as the Madrid Spirit.
Ah, okay. Football related.
It is, but stick with me. It's this philosophy of, fierce resilience and these spectacular comebacks. It's inspired by a truly fascinating and really personal blog post. Anyway, it's called The Madrid Spirit, When Life Backs You Against the Wall by Christian Lisangola.
Right.
And what's so compelling is how he uses this surprising, almost counterintuitive sporting metaphor, the incredible resilience of a football club, Real Madrid,
Okay. Got it.
to extract some truly profound and honestly universally applicable lessons for overcoming just the most daunting adversities, not just in life, but in business too.
And our mission today is precisely that, right?
Okay.
To unpack this unique perspective on perseverance, we're going to really dissect Lisangola's intensely personal journey and the core principles he identifies.
Yeah.
We want to pull out not just abstract ideas, but actionable insights, maybe some surprising facts along the way, help you understand not just what happened to him in this club,
Right.
but why it matters, and crucially, how you might be able to consciously apply these lessons to your own challenges, whatever they are.
Exactly. Prepare for some hopefully genuine aha moments.
Yeah, because this deep dive is all about that powerful alchemy you mentioned, transforming despair into an unstoppable creative force.
Okay, so let's unpack this. And believe me, Christian Lisangola's starting point is about as bleak as it gets.
Right.
Lisangola describes this period in his life that sounds just absolutely crushing. He paints this vivid picture of depression enveloping him, his words, like a thick fog.
Pervasive.
Totally.
Yeah.
Suffocating, coloring everything. His software development agency, which, was once his pride and joy, his income, it was grappling with a brutal economic crisis.
Okay.
He talks about internal investments, those optimistic bets on growth that had spiraled into what he starkly calls financial abysses.
Wow. Black holes, basically.
Exactly. Just sucking away resources and hope. The professional horizon had completely darkened. He literally says there was no slightest glimmer of hope.
That's stark. That feeling of a future utterly devoid of light, it resonates, unfortunately.
It really does.
And what's so striking and genuinely courageous, I think, is the brutal honesty Lisangola shares about this time. He highlights this feeling of profound powerlessness, which is so insidious because, it can affect anyone. Doesn't matter what skills you have, your experience, the sheer effort you've put in.
Right.
He felt trapped in this vicious, self-reinforcing cycle. The mounting financial anxiety wasn't just practical. It actively fueled a kind of creative paralysis.
Oh.
He describes it as an inability to innovate, to think clearly, to find solutions, which, of course, just made the economic situation worse.
That feedback loop.
Exactly. The pressure to perform, to innovate, actually makes it harder to do so. It just deepens the crisis. We've probably all felt that to some degree.
For sure. And it was in this context, what he called absolute distress, when he was just mentally and emotionally drained, exhausted by trying to fix things,
Yeah.
that an apparently insignificant event became this radical transformer for him.
Okay.
He found himself, almost by chance, in front of the TV, kind of distractedly watching a Champions League match.
Yeah.
It was Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich, a huge game. But on this particular night, the commentary was already pretty grim. Real Madrid was losing, getting totally dominated on the pitch, and the broadcasters were practically writing their obituary, making their elimination seem not just likely, but utterly inevitable.
You can almost feel that weight, that resignation in the air just from the description.
Totally.
And this moment, watching the match, becomes this powerful crucible, doesn't it? It sets the scene perfectly for a turning point because of the profound desolation Lisangola was feeling.
Right. How so?
Well, when you're at your absolute lowest, when your mind isn't frantically searching for the usual solutions anymore, it often creates this peculiar receptiveness. You're open to unexpected inspiration, even something seemingly trivial, like a sports game, especially if you're watching it almost detachedly. It can suddenly spark something profound.
Like his guard was down.
Exactly. It allowed a new idea, maybe a new feeling, to penetrate that fog.
And then, despite the team looking utterly resigned, almost defeated, and crucially, despite some of their own supporters actually starting to leave the stadium.
Wow, yeah. That says it all.
Can you imagine the atmosphere? Something truly incredible unfolded on the pitch.
Okay.
In this jaw-dropping twist, a player named Jose Lujoli, not even one of their biggest stars, really scored 2 goals. Boom, boom, in quick succession.
No way. When?
First, in the 88th minute, then again in added time, reversing the match's destiny in like 3 electrifying minutes.
Oh my God. The shock, the disbelief, the explosion of emotion must have been insane.
Absolutely phenomenal.
But the goals themselves, as powerful as they were for Lisangola, the real lasting impact came after the match.
Okay.
He was profoundly struck by the image of Carlo Ancelotti, the Real Madrid manager.
Right. Usually very calm, composed.
Exactly. Known for being almost unflappable. Yet, Lisangola saw him singing with what he described as devouring passion, leading the chant, "Madrid, Madrid, Madrid." This wasn't just a casual cheer. Lisangola called it a triumph song, a visceral cry, almost primal, affirming something far deeper. Real Madrid never dies. As long as the referee hasn't blown the final whistle, nothing is ever definitively lost.
That's powerful.
That image of a leader normally so restrained, unleashing such raw, unbridled belief, it really resonated. It makes you think, doesn't it, about the sheer power of conviction, even when everything looks hopeless.
Exactly. And that's the crucial point. This wasn't just about football anymore.
Right.
This image of Ancelotti transforming from this composed manager into a passionate standard-bearer of this unshakable faith, it resonated with Lisangola on such a deep personal level.
It transcended the sport.
Totally. It touched the very essence of what it means to refuse abandonment. For him, it embodied this life philosophy. A complete visceral refusal to give up, to just concede defeat.
A philosophy he was about to adopt.
Yes, he would soon adopt it and make it his own.
So that match, the Ancelotti moment, it sparked a memory for him.
It did. This electrifying match, this visceral display, immediately brought to Lisangola's mind Real Madrid's legendary exploits from the 2021-2022 season.
Ah, that crazy Champions League run.
Exactly. That season, Karim Benzema had led the team in this truly astonishing series of comebacks against some massive opponents.
Paris Saint-Germain.
Yep. Manchester City.
Oh, yeah,
right. Moments that Lisangola says still defy all footballing logic today.
Yeah, I remember those games. Against PSG, down 2 goals aggregate, less than 30 minutes left. Benzema hat-trick in 17 minutes. Insane.
And Man City. 2 goals down, 89th minute of the second leg.
Scored twice in 90 seconds, then 1 in extra time.
And Chelsea.
Yeah.
Won the first leg, then suddenly they're 3 goals down at home in the second.
Fought back, 1 in extra time again. It was just unprecedented, miraculous almost.
Truly.
And Benzema himself is highlighted as this powerful symbol here, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
He's a player who, throughout his career, had overcome numerous personal trials, big career challenges, constantly proving critics wrong.
He really did.
He wasn't just scoring goals. He kind of embodied Real Madrid's remarkable capacity to turn these absolutely desperate situations into what felt like epic victories.
Right.
It shows the Madrid spirit isn't just a team thing, it's also about individual resilience. Refusing to be defined by setbacks mirrors a philosophy you can apply personally and collectively.
And what truly struck Lisangola in these comebacks wasn't always their technical quality.
Interesting.
He notes quite pointedly that their technical play was, and I quote, sometimes even quite average during these games, especially compared to opponents who, on paper, maybe look superior.
Right. So what was it then?
It was, he says, this particular intensity that seized the team in the most critical moments.
Ah, like a collective will.
Almost exactly like that, a palpable force that just materialized when their backs were against the wall.
And this intensity, he observed, it drew its immense strength from one singular, deep conviction.
Which was?
That nothing is ever definitively lost as long as the match continues.
Okay, that's a profound mindset shift.
Totally reorients your approach. It allows for a relentless effort. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, because the clock's still ticking. The outcome isn't final yet.
Yeah.
This absolute refusal to accept a predetermined outcome, believing in the possibility of a shift even when the odds are stacked against you. That's central to the core of the Madrid Spirit. It's about keeping your agency even when you feel helpless.
So when their backs were truly against the wall,
Yeah.
instead of just giving up or trying to play defensively, run out the clock.
They did the opposite.
Completely. Lisa Angola says they started pushing, multiplying attempts, exerting constant and incessant pressure on their opponents.
Not just reactive bursts, but sustained.
All-out, sustained defensive, even when they were behind and must have been exhausted.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, because Lisa Angola explains this as a fascinating psychological phenomenon that goes way beyond football.
How so?
The more Real Madrid intensified their pressure, the more the opposing team, even though they were often ahead in a position of strength, started to doubt themselves.
Oh.
They started making uncharacteristic mistakes, picking up yellow cards out of sheer nervousness, frustration.
So pressure gets to them.
Exactly. If you connect this to the bigger picture, it shows how sustained, focused, relentless effort, even when you seem like the underdog, can actually erode the confidence and composure of your opponent.
Whether that opponent is a rival team, a market competitor,
Or even just the seemingly insurmountable circumstances you face. It's like psychological judo.
it really is. It was as if Real Madrid had instinctively understood this fundamental law of conflict psychology.
Yeah.
When you genuinely have nothing left to lose,
Yeah.
and you maintain constant, relentless pressure, you force your opponent to manage not just their own game, their own strategy, but also your sheer relentlessness.
That double management.
Exactly. It creates this huge cognitive load, this psychological burden that wasn't there before. It forces them to split their focus, react to your aggression instead of executing their plan.
And that creates gaps.
Creates gaps, opportunities that simply didn't exist moments before. The more chances they multiplied, the higher the probability of scoring, and the more their opponents panicked. It's brilliant, almost predatory.
Absolutely. It's not just about turning a perceived weakness being behind into a strength. It's about the profound psychological liberation that comes with accepting an extreme situation.
Right, the nothing to lose idea again.
When you truly embrace that you're at rock bottom, you shed the fear of further loss. And that fear is often what stifles innovation, prevents bold action.
Okay.
By releasing it, your strategic options just open up dramatically. You're free to try unconventional, high-risk, high-reward tactics that someone playing defensively, trying to preserve something, would never dare attempt.
Creates a kind of chaos.
Exactly. Chaos the established order often struggles to handle.
So, sitting there in his room, amidst his own darkness, facing those financial abysses, Lisa Angola started to see how this football philosophy, this Madrid spirit, could apply way beyond sports.
Yeah.
And this next detail for any football fan is just, wow, symbolic.
Go on.
He, a lifelong FC Barcelona supporter since childhood. I mean, that's a deep rivalry, almost a cardinal sin to cross that line.
Seriously, like switching religions for some fans.
Right. He found himself singing A la Madrid y nada más, the Real Madrid anthem, with the conviction that surprised even himself.
No.
Yes. And it wasn't just a fleeting thing. This transformation was so profound, he even changed his phone ringtone to the Madrid chant.
Okay, that's a serious internal shift.
Can you imagine?
That detail isn't just a charming anecdote, is it? It represents a truly profound internal shift, a personal adoption of a philosophy that completely overrode his deeply ingrained loyalties.
Yeah.
It underscores the universal appeal and raw power of this Madrid spirit. If it can make a lifelong Barca fan sing the Madrid anthem, a team he probably spent decades actively despising,
Right.
it clearly taps into something fundamental about human resilience, about that primal need for belief and hope when everything else is crumbling. It speaks to a truth that can override even our deepest, almost tribal affiliations.
Wow. So this powerful realization, born from a football match, it led Lisa Angola to what he calls a painful but necessary introspection.
Okay.
He asked himself, in his professional career, in his disastrous economic situation, had I really tried everything? Had I pushed multiplied attempts, explored all facets of my potential like Real Madrid did on the field?
Oh, that's an incredibly uncomfortable question to truly, honestly answer. Forces you to confront your own self-imposed limits.
Totally.
And it raises an absolutely crucial question for all of us, doesn't it? When we face our own huge challenges, do we really push ourselves to our absolute limits? Or do we subtly, maybe unconsciously, hold back? Lisa Angola's answer to himself was disturbing. No, He admitted, I had locked myself into a professional routine, contenting myself with the skills I already mastered, never daring to explore other dimensions of my personality.
Wow. Think about what that means.
Yeah, maybe he was a brilliant coder, but also a charismatic speaker who never formalized it, or a natural mentor stuck rigidly to tech tasks, or an intuitive strategist afraid of the uncertainty of leading.
Right.
It highlights that danger of staying in your comfort zone during adversity, when expansion and exploration are precisely what you need to find new paths forward.
And this revelation, this jarring self-assessment, it triggered what he describes as a radical transformation.
Okay, how?
He made a conscious decision to step decisively out of his comfort zone, to actively train in areas he had never explored before.
Like what?
Well, he knew, for instance, he had a gift for communication, for oral expression, this natural ability to connect.
Yeah.
But he'd never once thought about how to monetize it, how to build something around it.
Right, just saw it as a personality trait, maybe?
Exactly. So he began taking courses in completely new fields, corresponding to what he called hidden aspects of my personality that I had never had the courage to explore.
That's an inspiring leap of faith, stepping into the unknown like that.
It really is.
And it's a crucial pivot. It beautifully demonstrates that Madrid Spirit principle of multiplying opportunity.
Right. Keep trying things.
Lisangola understood, deep down, that some of these new attempts would inevitably fail. Not every course leads to a breakthrough. Not every new skill pays off immediately.
Sure.
But statistically, the more he tried, the more he explored, the higher his chances of stumbling onto that one transformative opportunity that changes everything.
It's a calculated gamble.
Exactly. Based on persistent, diversified action rather than just one big bet. It's about generating options when you feel like you have none left.
And this new proactive approach, it required a truly profound psychological transformation for him, moving, as he says, from a preservation mentality to an expansion mentality.
From defense to offense.
Precisely. From a defensive attitude to an offensive posture in the face of life's challenges.
Yeah.
It's a complete reorientation of how you approach problems.
Shifting from just trying to protect what little you have left.
To actively seeking out new territory, new possibilities.
And the results, he tells us, were spectacular, deeply validating. By intentionally exploring these new domains, he didn't just find new skills. He discovered abilities he didn't even suspect he possessed. Capacities dormant his whole life.
Wow.
More importantly, this aggressive, offensive approach opened professional doors he never would have imagined accessible from his previous defensive posture.
That's the Madrid attitude in action?
It's the very essence of it, transforming despair into creative energy, taking the immense pressure of adversity not as a reason to quit, but as a powerful springboard for extraordinary, unforeseen growth.
It's a testament to the idea that your deepest crisis can be your greatest catalyst.
Absolutely.
And Lisangola offers this concrete story that perfectly illustrates this transformation, a real proof of concept that, as he says, changed everything for him.
Okay, let's hear it.
He recounts how a former professional contact approached him. Complex technical problem for a client. The required solution was in advanced software development,
Okay.
a field he hadn't actively practiced for nearly 2 years. He wasn't even sure he could meet expectations, given how much he'd stepped away.
Right. So here he is, already in a catastrophic financial spot, facing this big technical unknown. Lots of self-doubt, presumably.
Exactly.
And this presents that classic dilemma, doesn't it? In that situation, the temptation is just to grab any work, right? Even if you're unsure, just get some income, survival mode.
Totally.
But something deeper happened that evening. Lisangola didn't just accept, he approached it with this completely new mindset, shaped by the Madrid Spirit.
He saw it differently.
Didn't just see a potential payday, saw an opportunity to apply his new philosophy.
So alone in his room, wrestling with the challenge, he remembered that vivid image, Ancelotti singing, Madrid, Madrid, Madrid.
The anchor.
And he told himself, with this newfound clarity, you have nothing to lose, everything is going wrong anyway, why not push? Like Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Why not create a proof of concept, a demonstration of what's possible, even if you might never be paid for this work?
That simple yet revolutionary thought, stripped of the fear of failure, became his guide. And that decision to truly internalize the nothing-to-lose mentality marked the beginning of a period of intense creativity for him.
Okay.
It highlights that profound psychological liberation. When you genuinely believe you have nothing left to lose, it frees up immense creative resources.
Resources that might otherwise stay dormant.
Exactly. Held back by fear of failure, pressure to maintain appearances, the burden of just trying to survive. It's like clearing all the mental clutter, focusing solely on what's possible, unburdened by fear.
So, for several consecutive nights, driven by this new spirit, he worked tirelessly, often until dawn, he says.
Wow.
He wasn't just developing a solution, he was getting back up to speed on old technologies he hadn't touched in years, relearning, rebuilding his reflexes.
That takes serious dedication.
The challenge was considerable. Regain highly specialized skills and create something innovative, genuinely useful for a client he didn't even know directly.
Yeah.
All under immense personal and financial pressure.
He wasn't just performing, he was reinventing himself in real time.
Totally.
And the Madrid Spirit manifested beautifully in his approach here. Instead of just aiming for a basic, bare minimum solution,
Hang on further.
he pushed the concept to create a functional system, complete with an intuitive user interface and advanced features. This wasn't just problem solving, it was excellence for excellence's sake.
Driven by that intensity.
Worked with the intensity of someone who truly had nothing left to lose, believing that even if it led to nothing financially, he would have given the best of myself.
That's a crucial distinction.
That internal drive for mastery, even without immediate external reward, is often what unlocks those unforeseen opportunities.
So when he finally presented the result of all this tireless effort to his contact,
Her reaction?
he says it exceeded all my expectations. The contact wasn't just impressed, he was genuinely blown away.
Nice.
He immediately organized a demonstration with the final client, a large corporate group. And their HR department, serendipitously, was looking for exactly this type of solution.
Wow, perfect timing.
And the system Lisangola had developed, this proof of concept born of desperation and relentless effort, solves all their operational problems right there on the spot.
A perfect fit. Maybe not by chance, maybe by sheer determined will creating its own luck.
Could be.
And this is truly the aha moment of the story, isn't it? The full circle.
Yeah. What happened next?
At the end of that demonstration, without Lisangola even having to ask, the project manager just said, "Send me your invoice."
Whoa. Just like that.
Just like that. He was, as he describes it, completely stunned. He'd estimated the chances of a real, paid contract as slim to none.
Incredible.
This surprise led swiftly to negotiations for a complete, fully featured version, a proper contract, and a much-needed fundamental improvement in his catastrophic financial situation.
Wow.
What's fascinating is how his commitment to excellence, born from that nothing-to-lose mentality, created an opportunity way beyond his initial desperate hopes, a victory not just of skill, but of mindset.
And beyond the crucial economic aspect, this whole experience taught him something really fundamental.
Which was?
Sometimes our greatest victories are born from moments when we decide to give everything without expecting anything in return, in the pure spirit of excellence for excellence's sake.
That completely flips the script, doesn't it? On how we often approach work, always measuring effort against immediate reward,
Yeah.
suggests that unreserved commitment without attachment to the outcome can often unlock the most profound and unexpected successes.
So this incredible transformative experience, this professional comeback, it actually reminded Lisangola of an even more distant period in his life. One which had already, maybe unconsciously, forged this capacity to turn seemingly insurmountable constraints into genuine opportunities.
Going further back.
Yeah. He reflects on his time after secondary studies. His family faced such difficult financial times that university, that pathway to a better future seemed utterly out of reach.
A moment of profound disadvantage, a huge barrier to his aspiration. And crucially, instead of just resigning himself to this severe limitation, which would have been totally understandable, he adopted an approach that, looking back, already foreshadowed the Madrid Spirit. This is powerful because it shows this mindset, resourcefulness, offensive action. Making your own luck isn't necessarily something you only learn in extreme adulthood.
It could develop earlier?
Yeah, much earlier, long before it's formally named or recognized. It's like an innate human drive that adversity can awaken, pushing us towards inventive solutions.
So what did he do back then?
Armed with his sister's computer, literally his only resource, he created a document listing various computer troubleshooting services he could theoretically offer.
Right.
And here's the truly audacious paradox. He readily admits he didn't really master any of these skills at the time.
Wow. Hanging out your shingle for services you don't actually know how to do. That takes some serious nerve.
It takes nerve, but it also shows this innate understanding of a fundamental principle. You can learn anything when necessity pushes you to it and you adopt the right learning strategy.
Right. It wasn't about deception.
No, it was about leveraging a belief in his own capacity to learn under pressure. It's a testament to self-belief, coupled with a systematic approach to skill acquisition, turning a glaring knowledge gap into an opportunity for rapid, on-the-job training.
So what was his method? How did he actually pull that off?
It was brilliantly simple, yet incredibly effective.
Right.
As soon as he got a client for a service he didn't yet know how to perform, say, removing a nasty computer virus,
Yeah.
he would immediately find someone who did master that skill. He'd pay them to help solve the client's immediate problem.
Okay.
And crucially, he would insist they teach him the technique, asking detailed questions so he could reproduce it autonomously next time.
Huh. That's like an entrepreneurial approach to education, paying for lessons via client work.
It truly is. This systematic, almost apprenticeship-like approach allowed him to rapidly develop real technical know-how while simultaneously building a loyal clientele.
So you can picture him.
Yeah. Takes on a client whose home network keeps dropping, finds a local IT expert, observes them checking cables, router settings, maybe modem firmware. Leasingol isn't just paying, he's asking, what's your diagnostic process? What's the most common cause? What tools are you using? Why?
Learning by doing and by watching intently.
Exactly. In just a few months, through this active, hands-on learning under pressure, he transformed from someone who theoretically offered services into a genuinely competent computer technician.
Amazing.
That transformation wasn't magic. It was the direct result of applying that philosophy he'd later recognize as the essence of the Madrid Spirit. Persistent effort, continuous learning driven by real problems, and an unwavering belief that every challenge is an opportunity to expand your capabilities.
So what makes this Madrid Spirit so profoundly powerful, Lisingola argues, is that it goes far beyond the sports framework to apply to all domains of human existence.
Right. Not just football, not just business comebacks. It's a universal blueprint.
Exactly. This philosophy rests on several fundamental principles that, once you truly integrate them into your mindset, radically transform a relationship to adversity and failure.
Allowing you to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as catalysts.
Precisely.
So what's the first principle?
The first is that idea of constant offensive pressure.
Right. Like Real Madrid harassing its opponents by multiplying attacks even when trailing.
We have to learn to maintain intense creative activity, even when circumstances seem overwhelmingly to condemn us to failure.
It's not about aimless flailing, though, right?
No, it's about focused, proactive engagement, a refusal to passively wait for a solution, constantly pushing the envelope regardless of how grim things look.
And this constant, relentless pressure, he explains, it produces this powerful double effect.
Okay.
Firstly, yeah, it statistically increases your chances of success just by multiplying attempts. More swings, higher chance of a hit.
Makes sense.
But secondly, and it may be more subtly, it creates in your opponents, whether that's a competitor, economic difficulties, just unfavorable circumstances, a form of destabilization that opens new possibilities.
You're not just trying to win, you're actively changing the dynamic of the game itself.
Exactly. Putting immense pressure on the very forces holding you back. Being the aggressor even when you feel like you're on the defensive.
Okay, principle 1, constant offensive pressure. What's next?
Principle 2 is about transforming constraint into energy.
Explain that.
Real Madrid's most beautiful, most improbable comebacks, as Lisingola notes, are always born from the most desperate situations when the team literally has nothing left to lose.
That paradox again?
It's key. Extreme constraint, rather than paralyzing, becomes this incredibly powerful catalyst. When every conventional option is exhausted, when the path forward seems totally blocked, that very blockage forces a kind of radical, uninhibited creativity.
And this isn't just a catchy phrase, it's psychological.
Right. This psychological liberation that comes from truly accepting the extreme situation frees creative and energetic resources that remain dormant as long as we still hope to preserve what we already possess.
Okay, that makes sense. When you're clinging to the last bits of comfort, you're cautious, defensive.
But when you truly understand you've lost everything or you're about to, you paradoxically become free. Free to dare strategies, take risks, explore solutions you never would have considered in normal, comfortable times.
The ultimate freedom to innovate, unburdened by the fear of further loss.
Exactly. Okay, so third principle.
This one concerns discovering hidden talents under pressure.
Adversity reveals things.
Precisely. Adversity, Lisingola emphasizes, reveals capacities we didn't suspect we possessed. Like those Real Madrid players who, in the most critical moments, tap into unsuspected reserves of stamina, skill, mental fortitude.
We often discover our true potentials, our latent strengths, when circumstances force us to exceed our usual self-imposed limits.
It's that trial by fire. Instead of consuming us, it forges new strengths, new understandings of ourselves.
And this revelation of hidden talents is only possible, he argues, if we accept, if we choose, to step out of our comfort zone and explore unknown territories of our personality.
Which connects right back to his own journey, recognizing that gift for communication he'd ignored until his professional life was on the brink.
Exactly, consciously pushing past those internal boundaries we've built up.
So, fast forward to today. Lisangola observes that even his lifelong team, FC Barcelona,
The rivals.
he notes that historically they weren't really known for these dramatic comebacks, but he sees that they have also adopted this comeback philosophy in recent times.
Interesting. How so?
Despite sometimes being, as he puts it, defensively fragile, a common criticism, they've developed this extraordinary capacity to reverse apparently lost situations.
By doing what?
Like concentrating all their energy on their offensive strengths. Even when trailing, they attack with the same intensity, refusing to worry about weaknesses in that moment.
And choosing instead to massively invest in their strengths.
Exactly. It's a compelling shift, even for a rival team. Highlights the universal power of this mindset.
And this specific approach, focusing intensely on strengths even when weaknesses are apparent, it reveals a profound truth about success, doesn't it?
Which is?
Rather than seeking to correct all our weaknesses, it is often more effective to exploit our strengths so intensely that they largely compensate for our limitations.
Double down on what you're good at.
Think about it in business. A startup with limited cash won't try to compete head-on with giants across every feature. No. They might obsessively focus on one specific innovative aspect, one key strength, deliver it with such excellence
that it creates an overwhelming advantage, draws customers despite other limitations.
Exactly. Applies to individuals, organizations, projects, personal challenges, strategically doubling down on what makes you powerful.
So the Madrid Spirit, through all these experiences, it taught Lisangola that success is not the absence of obstacles,
but the capacity to transform each obstacle into a springboard.
Right. It showed him, and now us, that our greatest victories often aren't born from easy paths or effortless progress.
No, they come from our darkest, most challenging moments. When we find the courage, the sheer will to keep pushing, multiply efforts, even when everything seems utterly lost.
It's a complete reframing of challenge itself.
And this lesson goes way beyond his personal experience. Touches on a universal truth about the human condition. We are all capable of extraordinary comebacks if we adopt the right mentality in the face of adversity.
It's a powerful reminder. Our potential for resilience, innovation, finding new paths, it's often much, much greater than we realize when we're comfortable.
True strength isn't in the absence of defeat,
but in the steadfast refusal of final defeat.
Exactly.
So when life backs you against the wall, when those pillars of your reality start to crumble, remember Carlo Ancelotti.
Singing on the pitch.
Remember him, the usually composed manager, singing Madrid, Madrid, Madrid,
Yeah.
that visceral passion in a moment of apparent defeat? Remember that chant wasn't just a cry of despair?
It was a declaration of war against resignation.
Yes, the powerful affirmation that as long as the match isn't over, as long as we still have the possibility to act, to create, to try, nothing is ever definitively lost. It's about that relentless, audacious hope.
The Madrid Spirit teaches us that true strength doesn't reside in the complete absence of defeat, but in the absolute, unwavering refusal of final defeat. It reminds us that each apparent end can, in fact, become a new beginning. If we find the courage to continue pushing, to multiply attempts, to explore the unknown territories of our potential and our personality.
Madrid, Madrid, Madrid.
It's not just a victory chant. It's a hymn to human persistence, a life philosophy that transforms the deepest crises into powerful catalysts for exceptional, unexpected growth.
So this deep dive into Christian Lisangola's Madrid Spirit, well, really isn't just about football, is it?
Not at all.
It's about a profoundly actionable blueprint for navigating life's toughest, most desperate moments.
Yeah, it's about how to strategically find your offensive pressure, how to consciously turn constraint into powerful creative energy.
And how to discover talents you never even knew you possessed. All when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left to lose.
So consider this, maybe a final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
What if our greatest freedom, our most potent creativity, and our most transformative growth, What if they can only truly emerge when we confront those moments where we feel we literally have nothing left to lose?
Hmm.
What if shedding that final fear is actually the key to unlocking your most audacious self? How might embracing that perspective fundamentally change your approach to your next big challenge, or maybe even your current one?
That's a powerful question to sit with. We hope this deep dive has given you some powerful nuggets of knowledge to reflect on and maybe even apply.
Keep exploring, keep pushing.
And remember that as long as the whistle hasn't blown, as long as there's still time on the clock, nothing is ever definitively lost. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.